What's up everyone? Alex here. 2019 was the year that saw Backlog Battle reach 4,000 subscribers, and I wanted to make this video as a way of saying thank you for helping me reach this important milestone. But it's not the only important milestone that I reached this year. This is also the year that I hit level 40. 40 years old to be precise. I know many of you didn't know this, so this might come as a surprise. Wait a minute, does that qualify me as a boomer? At every milestone, I've decided to post these thank you videos as a way of not only thanking all of you for liking, commenting, and subscribing to Backlog Battle, but also to give new subscribers a little bit of insight as to who I am and why I'm making videos. If you haven't yet, I highly recommend watching the origin story video to learn more about me, if you so wish. For this video, I want to talk about how I found my way back to JRPGs, and how that connects to what I think Backlog Battle is. There was a point in time that I didn't like the state of Japanese RPGs. In fact, I was one of those people who said that JRPGs looked all too similar to one another, citing the anime and manga designs as being so similar that it's often difficult to tell them apart. Much of this attitude probably stemmed from the fact that I was a Square loyalist, and I was a staunch defender of the quality of the games they made. With games like Vagrant Story, Chrono Cross, and of course the Final Fantasy series, Square never gave me a reason to doubt them. Unfortunately, this led to me developing an elitist attitude towards the other games in the genre. But that all started to change at the turn of the century, ultimately coming to a head with the release of Final Fantasy The Spirits Within, which plunged the company into bankruptcy and ousting its leader, Hironobu Sakaguchi, as a result, only to be saved by competitor Enix. From then on, the quality of Square's games became more mixed, and the once infallible Square that could do no wrong all of a sudden appeared vulnerable. After the ensuing disappointment, I retreated from JRPGs, exiling myself with no end in sight. This was during the middle of the PS3 era, when many Japanese developers tried to take advantage of gaming's newfound mainstream success in the West, and attempted to get a piece of the pie by making games that would appeal more to fans of that region. None of these truly attracted my attention, and so I continued to find solace in the games the West delivered. But deep inside, I yearned for a more fulfilling experience. I was no longer impressed with the kinds of graphics and polish that Western games delivered, and while I appreciated the difference in their approach, I wanted to find a game that would engage me despite how it looked. That arrived on February 2009, a little over 2 years after the PS3 launched. That's when I went online and ordered Persona 4 for the PS2. I don't quite remember how I wound up learning about Persona 4, but I do remember that for the longest time, I'd always wanted to play an RPG that was grounded in the real world. Prior to Persona 4, I had played, but not finished, both the original Persona and Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. But of course, because I was a Square loyalist, I could never look past its appearance. However, by the time Persona 4 rolled around, I had grown out of that part of my life, and I was willing to give this very different looking entry to the Persona series a shot. As the only single-player game that can claim the distinction of seeing close to 400 hours of cumulative playtime between its original release and its golden release soon after, Persona 4 brought me back to JRPGs in a huge way. This is a game that I would have criticized many years ago for being similar in its appearance as any other game in the genre, and yet, it captured my attention and adoration like no other. My thoughts on Persona 4 would more likely take up an entire video to talk about, and to this day, I still consider it as a high watermark in JRPG design and gameplay. But my discovery and admiration of Persona 4 made me think well beyond JRPGs. If I was able to shake off my earlier, unfair biases towards other games in the genre, could I do the same for other genres? In other words, is the reason why I don't like other games simply because I hadn't found the right one? These questions, and a whole lot more, became a huge part of the foundation of Backlog Battle, and if the recent years have been any indication, my passion for talking about Japanese games is unwavering. That said, I want more people who aren't usual fans of these games to find us, and you might see me cover a select few games that aren't Japanese in the coming year to attract more people to the community. Rest assured that I'll make sure that these games have some overlap with the kinds of games we cover. I only wish that you keep an open mind, much like I did later on in life, so we can all continue to discover a whole new world of games together. I hope that this milestone video helped continue to shed some light as to who I am, and once again, I want to thank all of you for helping Backlog Battle reach 4,000 subscribers. Last year, I had set a goal of reaching 5,000 subscribers by the end of 2019. With only a month and change left, do you think we can make it? Share a link to the channel and some videos to your friends, join the Discord, subscribe to my Patreon, and maybe even help with my Extra Life page. Either way, let's all help grow our community together. It's my hope that we can be a force for good change, and I'm just super happy that you're along for the ride. Thanks again, and have a wonderful gaming week.